Good morning, you're watching Republic TV. I'm Crispina, getting you all the latest international news. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has boarded his flight to New Delhi and will arrive today for his two-day visit to India. Now, a series of issues will be discussed, including counter-terrorism cooperation and regional challenges, including Afghanistan conflict. Here's more on what to expect from that meeting.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is visiting India, and here he will meet the Prime Minister of the country. He will meet the Minister of External Affairs, and he will also be meeting the NSA. Now, this is a strategic visit which comes at a very important time in Afghanistan's history. Taliban is on the rampage. But then there is a ratio that we need to understand. The Taliban is between 70,000 to 75,000 strong, and the Afghan National Army, along with the paramilitary forces and the police, is more than 350,000 strong. The chances of the Taliban taking over Kabul are remote. We've also heard about CENTCOM generals ordering airstrikes against the Taliban, and this will continue. They've promised full support to the Afghan government. And this will continue, and Taliban will be on the run. Now, there are three things that we need to understand here in this current scenario which is unfolding at almost supernatural speed. Russia carried out exercises in Central Asia recently, and this was to send a clear message. They understand that when the civil war in Afghanistan gets too hot to handle, there will be a Taliban spillover, not just in Pakistan, but also in Uzbekistan, also in Kyrgyzstan, and other Central Asian countries which neighbor Afghanistan. Number two, recently, Dr. Moeed Yusuf, who is the National Security Advisor in Pakistan, and by the way, carries an American green card, secretly in Geneva, met the US National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. What happened during that meeting, nobody knows. It hasn't been discussed even in the Pakistani media so much. Details are not known. And number three, what does India have in terms of stake in all these things? India is very categorical. There are media reports about India setting weapons and have been traditionally training Afghan troops and officers in India, sending weapons and ammunition to the Afghan government to fight against the Taliban. The Taliban, on the other hand, says, we ask India not to intervene in Afghanistan, and we promise not to intervene in Kashmir. We are not interested in Kashmir. We are people who are only interested in the future of Afghanistan. And lastly, there is the Pakistan angle. And what is the Pakistan angle, friends? The Pakistan angle is this. Pakistan has always been obsessed with this concept of strategic depth. Now, I would like to explain to you what this is. Pakistan is 300 to 400 kilometers wide and thousands of kilometers long. The problem is that you do not fight wars in your own territory. You try to fight wars in the enemy territory. And Pakistan has always been conscious of the fact that should India attack, India will cleave through Pakistan like a hot knife through butter. Hence, Pakistan has always tried to increase its scope and area of influence. Terrorism in Kashmir, terrorism in Punjab, and also the Taliban in Afghanistan. Increasing its size or scale of influence. That is why the Pakistani army created the Taliban. But Pakistan today finds itself in the FATF grey list. If it is seen as overtly supporting the Taliban, it could go from grey to black in a jiffy. That would be curtains for the Pakistan economy. And yet, Pakistan fears Indian influence in Afghanistan, and Pakistan will not let the Taliban go so easily.